where the part Islam had to unmute myself. And once again, Islam, and welcome to the Moorish Light Continues, where the podcast is a revolution. And as always, we will begin with the Moorish American prayer. And Islam, Islam, Islam. Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation, by night and by day, through his holy prophet, Drew Ali. Amen. And you know what I was so busy preparing. Um, So, give me a second here. Islam. Once again, welcome to another edition of the Moorish Lights, where the revolution is a podcast. We begin by giving praises to Allah, the causeless cause, and the rootless root from which all things have grown or have come. We give honor to the last prophet in this dispensation, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, in the first, second, and third form. I give honor to Grand Sheikh John Gibbonsville, who built upon the foundation laid by the founder. I give honor to my teacher, Grand Sheikh Richardson Dingle, Prophet Noble Drew Ali III, who was with the founder and the reincarnated prophet, as well as to his brother Timothy Dingle, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, modern day Moses and Aaron. Honor to Marcus Messiah Garvey, the great emancipator Abraham Lincoln. Honors to Supreme Grand Sheikh and Sheik's Prather Eel, Supreme Grand Sheikh Louise Dingle Eel, Honorary Supreme Grand Sheikh Thorn Eel and Sheik's Thorn Eel, and our current State and National Grand Sheikh is Tiffany Jones Bag. Islam, and welcome to the Moorish Light, the Soul School, shining light, clearing up the confusion, and teaching the basic facts. Our objective is unity and manifesting the ultimate goal of the Moorish movement. Here's what we're not going to do. We are not going to dispute Charters, who is the Supreme Grand Sheikh. We are here to establish a basic foundation of the Moorish movement and love and understanding. And I guess it's only right that we define light, since this is the Moorish light. Spiritually, light symbolizes knowledge, truth, divine presence, hope, guidance, and purity, representing awareness and the pathway from spiritual darkness, from ignorance and sin, towards enlightenment, goodness, and union with the divine, appearing across cultures as God's creation, inner wisdom, or guiding force for humanity. It signifies wisdom, life, revelation, and the illumination of the spirit within. And of course, we also always open by reading from the Holy Quran of Mecca. And today our surah is, let me get to my share screen. Our surah should be Surah 96, ayats 3 and 4. And it says, proclaim, and thy Lord is most bountiful. He who taught you the use of the pen, the symbol of a permanent revelation is the mystic pen and the mystic record. And then it tells you to see notes 5593 to Surah 68 in first verse. The Arabic words for teach and knowledge are from the same root. It is impossible to produce in a translation the complete orchestrational harmony of the words for read, teach, pen, which implies reading, writing, books, study, research. Let me say that to you again. The complete orchestrational harmony of the words read, teach, and pen, which implies reading, writing, book study, and research. Knowledge, including the science of self knowledge, spiritual understanding, and proclaim, an alternative meaning of the word for to read. This proclaiming or reading implies not only the duty of blazoning forth Allah's message as going with the prophetic office, but also the duty of proclamation, wide dissemination of the truth by all who read and understand it. The comprehensive meaning, Torah, refers not only to the particular person and occasion, but also gives a universal direction. And this kind of comprehensive meaning, as we have seen, runs throughout the Quran, and for those who will understand. And I'm going to read 5 along with that. Taught man that which he knew not. Allah teaches us new knowledge at every given moment. Individuals learn more and more by day, nations and humanity at large, fresh knowledge at every stage. This is even more noticeable and important in the spiritual world. And one of the things we have to know, all knowledge and capacity comes as gifts from Allah. But man, in his inordinate vanity and insolence, mistakes Allah's gifts for his own achievements. The gifts may be strength or beauty, wealth, position, or power, or more subtle gifts of knowledge or talents in individuals, or science, or art, or government, or organization for mankind in general. So as I read these sources, it automatically takes me into what we do in Moorish science, because a lot of people think we are in some kind of rebellion, but we're not in rebellion. We're in a restorative. We're on a restorative mission, and in that restorative mission, we're working towards gaining our birthrights, not to function and integrate into a system that we already know is malfunctioning. We are here to get our people who call themselves Negro, Black, and Colored, who must proclaim their nationality, to get them off of the road of misinformation, the road of deception, the road of imitation, onto the road of their historical and divine and national reality. Because we're holding on to Black like it has some essence, but it's not the essence. And we study in Islam, Black are those who denied Allah. But somehow or another, we kind of getting the message mixed up, which is why a Prophet Noble Drew Ali, had to come and teach us that we were not Negro, Black, and Colored. We had to learn that. We still have to learn that, because we're living this life of imitation in an illusion off of the false premises of a slave label. And we're trying to make it a reality. And it hasn't worked. It won't work. It can't work. So we've gone all the way back into the problem is racism. Racism is slavery. Slavery is the black and white thing, the master servant thing, minority and superiority thing, because in essence, history is not black and white. History is made of nations. The only time you get the black and white history is when you step into the United States on the plantation. Now, we say that slavery is over, but can somebody explain or identify from when we left the plantation, when was there a process to turn us back to our original thinking or our original selves? So when we talk about When we read this surah from the Holy Quran of Mecca, it definitely lets us know one must proclaim their nationality, one must study science, self-knowledge, gain spiritual understanding. They must study, they must read, and this is what we do in Moorish science. And we don't pimp information, and we're not bucking the system. Our job is to change it. But there are a lot of us that's well trained and will defend it with our life. The change is for the better for everybody. But then that's another topic. So let me get let me get to our topic of today. Our topic today is honoring Moorish Mother's Day, which we did do Sunday at our temple, and um, Saturday, the sisters were able to go out and have a great feast. Let's give honor to Sister Bowens Eel, who organized and planned it. She had put up a fight to get that to happen, and I commend the sister for her tenacity and her sense of organization in order to get that job done. Um, so as I say, today we're going to honor Moorish. We had Moorish Mother's Day on Sunday, and we're going to talk about the Moorish Sisters Network, because I know people see me post it, but they might be wondering exactly what goes on here. And but before that, I want to read from the Resurrection book, Moorish or Ancient. No, I'm sorry, I'm on the wrong page. Special Mobitus Day. Now, it says, in order to have a more family union between husband and wife, all Moabites, which are the brothers, should honor their Moabites, which are the sisters, and cherish her as a blessing sent to thee from heaven. Let the kindness of thy behavior endear thee to her heart. The Moabite or the brother should sacrifice one day in a week, the day that is convenient to him. On that day, he should be her special servant. Whatever she say, he'll do. Wherever she go, he goes, under love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. I think it's fair because he's been on the go 5 days a week, taking care of his special duties. His wife doing her household duties, likewise having little time to be alone with her husband, and maybe taking care of her personal needs, etc. I think if that day is granted, it will remind each other of their marriage vows and bind two hearts more closer together in love and unity. They must remember that the great God of nature binds two hearts together in love. Think it over and act. Read Act 7 of the Divine Constitution. Peace. Now, I'm reading, I didn't tell you where I was reading from. Oh my God. I'm reading from the Resurrection of the Moorish Science Temple of America. The truth, be yourself and not somebody else. And on that front cover, we have Grand Sheikh Timothy Dingle Eel representing the prophet with his sword in his hand. We have the sister, and he says, if I draw your cut. Then we have the sister, it's a new era of time now, laying on the rock of salvation. She is identified as humanity, and it says defend her or she will defend herself. And when you turn it around, she is standing instead of sitting, and she has her sword where she can defend herself. So when we talk about being sisters in the Moorish Science Temple and mothers, we're talking about being mothers of the revolution. We're talking about being mothers of the change. We're talking about being the beacon light for our future. We're not talking about being complacent. We're talking about stepping in the footsteps of the prophet and getting the job done. We have a job to do. The prophet says, dear mothers, teach. Dear mothers, teach. Dear brothers, keep the order. So if we're teaching and you're keeping order, there should be nothing but success. But you got people uh, who decide that they think that their way is better than the prophet's way. And I'm not really going to get into that because I want to stay in a certain place and at a certain spiritual level today. So I do want to just show how powerful our lessons are. And I'm not going to get into all the details of what we do in our sisters meeting, but I am going to share a lesson we did the other day. And the reason why I'm sharing this because I need us to understand that there's a depth. Every time you study, there's a deeper depth of understanding that will come to you. And as we read in the Surah, man does not give you understanding, Allah gives you understanding. So as daughters of the revolution, we have a responsibility. Well, no, the European has daughters of the revolutions. We are mothers of the revolution. And we have a duty to understand our divine and national lessons. But one of the things we focus on in the Moorish Sisters Network is who we are as women. Uh, we are mentioned when you study your Quran, we are mentioned as wisdom, we are mentioned as truth, we are mentioned as soul. And as soon as you open up your Holy Quran, chapter 1, who's teaching? Who's teaching? Let's just take a little look. It says, and I'm not going to read all of it. Hear now, ye cherubim, ye serpents, ye angels, and ye men. Hear now, O protoplast, in earth, and plant, and beast. Hear now, ye creeping things of earth, ye fish that swim, ye birds that fly. Hear now, ye winds that blow, ye thunders and lightnings of the sky. Hear now, ye spirits of fire, of water, earth, and air. Hear now, O everything that is, or was, or evermore will be. For wisdom speaks from the out of the highest plane of spirit life. So there's a teacher here. Her name is wisdom. And then she finished explaining to you the rest of this chapter in chapter 1. But it says here. So as we move on, we're going to go into, I'm going to stop sharing this. I hope, so I hope I'm hoping, next week. Okay. All right. So I put myself in the studio. Okay. To close this. Okay, so I'm gonna stop sharing. I'm gonna stop sharing. And I've put myself up here twice. One of us has to go. Help me figure out who's going. Um, okay. I'm actually not sure how to do this, but then we're gonna keep moving. So we're going to just take a verse. Uh, who wants to take a verse? And I'm trying to figure out. Um, we're gonna take. You're just gonna have to see the two of me. Um, we want to look at our Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple, and we're going to look at just verse 7 or ayah 7, however you like to know. And the title of this chapter is Holy Instructions for Marriage. Um, so, verse 7 says, she is clothed in neatness, she is fed with temperance, humility and meekness are as a crown of glory circling her head. So, one of the things, I'm one of the people that have discussions with AI. So we looked up um, neatness, and it says neatness is viewed across spiritual traditions as a reflection of inner beauty, self discipline, and respect for creation. A tidy space and organized life serve as an outward expression of a calm mind, clearing energetic blockages to invite clarity, mindfulness, and a deeper connection to the divine. Um, so that's what we have on neatness. So now we're only working on this one verse. So she is clothed in neatness. So it's not just talking about the way she dresses. It's also talking about the way she thinks and how she carries herself, which is one of the reasons why we have to study divine and national lessons, because we don't want to be tunnel vision and more science. We want to use our both sides of our vision and more science. So we want to use our divine vision and we want to use our national vision and more science, because we do have a mission to uplift fallen humanity. It says she is fed with temperance. And temperance means much more than a simple abstinence or rigid self-denial. It represents the conscious practice of moderation, balance, and inner harmony. It is the spiritual discipline of aligning your desires, emotions, and actions with higher wisdom rather than reacting to impulsive or extreme urges. Now that's temperance. Then remember now, it says she's clothed in neatness, she's fed with temperance, humility. It says humility is a state of having a modest, grounded view of your own importance. It is defined not by thinking less of yourself, but by thinking of yourself less. It involves letting go of the ego and surrendering to something greater than yourself. So these are the kind of lessons that we actually go through, and we go through historical lessons, but I'm doing this because I want sisters to understand what it is we're actually doing. And sometimes it seems we do it seems a little different, but these are the things that we have to help ourselves with or help each other with. It says, ego transcendence. Humility requires moving past the ego's constant need for control, recognition, and validation. It replaces self promotion with a deep sense of being, requiring no external justification. Its connection to the divine, it is the recognition of your finite nature, complete dependence on the universe, the divine or higher power. It signifies a willingness to be guided rather than relying solely on your own limited understanding. Authentic living. Because humble individuals do not base their worth on public praise, they are liberated from worrying about their status. They act with sincerity and deep compassion towards others. So now we've talked about meekness, inner purity, self-discipline, respectful creation. We talked about temperance. It's not that I don't do this and I don't do that, but it's bringing everything in a conscious practice of moderation, balance, and inner harmony. That's what temperance actually is should be how it should be practiced. And then it says, so she is clothed in neatness, she is fed with temperance, um, hu- humility, and meekness. So, what does it mean by meekness? It says it is defined as a power under control, often mistakenly equated with weakness or timidity. A meek spirit usually actually reflects immense inner strength, patience, and a deep, humble trust in a higher purpose. So when we as sisters see more in science, or when we study more in science, we become more empowered as women to become. We know we're going to be, because the law requires us to be better wives and better mothers, but the law also requires us to be active participants in changing the conditions we currently see our people in. Now, can we change their conditions just by giving them something to eat? No. We've got to talk to the spirit of our people. And in order to talk to the spirit of our people, we have to have that foundation. And and as I study and as I learn, we get to see and practice, and we become empowered in our in these lessons. And being empowered as a Moorish sister takes you to some levels that you probably haven't been before. Uh, but that those comes that of course that comes with studying. So let's keep going on this one verse now. And I'm not even reading you all the information. I'm just reading pieces of it. It says, oh, we did two verses. And meekness as a crown of glory circling her head. Now you can also look at meekness as your turban, because your turban circles your head. And everybody is not comfortable with a turban. But to find that comfortability with your turban is another dimension of growth. That too is a lesson, and it is another dimension of growth that we as sisters uh, get to benefit from. Trying to make sure I use the right words, because um, it says on her on her tongue. So we're going to go into A. On her tongue dwelleth music. And I'm going to read a few things we learned about music. Music, universal vibration. Everything in creation vibrates at a specific frequency. Music is the conscious orchestration of these vibrations to restore harmony to the human body and spirit. It says, on her tongue dwelleth music. So her words are very healing for her or to others. We have sisters like Mother Gwendolyn Johnson Bay, Mother Betty, uh, who are very mothering and soothing to, helping our sisters. You can come to them. They can be your confidants. I mean, I can do it too, but everybody thinks I'm just rough. But there's so much that we as elder sisters can give to you, our younger sisters, because you're going to have to carry the movement on. But don't keep it where we are at. Take it a step further. Study it a little deeper. Make it a working instrument in your life, in the world. Take Moorish science and make it a working instrument, not just something to come to the temple and do. Let it become a part of every part. And then you become that wisdom that says, "Here now, you birds, creeping things, wind, fire." Because wisdom speaks from the highest plane of spirit life. Um, it says music serves as a direct channel of communication with the Creator, carrying prayers, intentions, and divine messages that words alone cannot express. Historically, sound and song have been used to maintain mental and spiritual freedom during times of physical bondage, acting as a sanctuary of the soul. So, like I said, I'm not reading all. I'm just reading just bits and but these are things that we covered in our lesson last Thursday with verse 7 and 8. And so then it says decency is in all her words, and decency is often associated with the principle to let all things be done decently in order. This reflects the inner alignment that brings peace and focus to worship and community, avoiding unnecessary chaos. Spiritual traditions view decency in appearance and speech as a sign of a quiet heart. It is about carrying yourself with quiet confidence rather than ego and valuing character over superficial attention. And when we look at society today, a lot of women or a lot of young ladies deal with the superficial attention, and then they get upset when it does not uh, get them what they're actually looking for. So we want to get past the superficial attention. And I'm going to read this because in the sword that I read, it talked about the mystic pen. And so I think it's only fair that read what that actually meant. But being sisters, oh my goodness, that is such a beautiful and powerful experience. You know, when you get into these lessons the way you need to, when you get into your spiritual, into the lessons, and it doesn't matter whether you're teaching, whether you're learning, it's divine or national, when your body hurts and you take the time to study these lessons, do you know at the moment you let that pain go, that spirit takes over and you are relieved and raised to a higher level? So the mystic pen, it says, the mystic pen represents the instrument which abstract divine will, consciousness, creativity are manifested in the physical world. It bridges the unseen realm and the physical plane, acting as a powerful tool across several mystical conditions. And it says Islamic mysticism, and this says Sufi, and I don't do too many, I'm really a little stickler for sticking with, the Holy Quran itself, and so, as we read this, And as I was reading these definitions for sisters, it took my mind to something very simple that we read. Let's see if I can find it in the resurrection book. Oh yeah, page. Five. And it says, what is Islam? It says Islam is a very simple faith that requires man to recognize his duties towards God, Allah, his creator, and his fellow creatures. It teaches the supreme duty of living at peace with one's surroundings. It is preeminently the religion of peace. The very name Islam means peace. The goal of a man's life or woman's life, according to Islam, is peace with everything, peace with Allah, and peace with man, peace with woman. The Quran, the holy book of Islam, tells us that the final abode of man is the house of peace, where there's no vain word or sinful discourse will be heard. The holy divine prophet Noble Drew Ali says that a follower of Islam in the true sense of the word is one whose hands, tongue, and thoughts do not hurt others. The object of a man's life, according to Islam, is its complete unfoldment. And when you see man, that's not excluding woman. That's not excluding woman. Because see, some people see man and they think that excludes the sisters. It does not. It's just the way that they wrote it that particular time. So it it's supposed to be understood that when they're talking about the man, they're also including the woman. But I ain't gonna talk about the male ego because I've left some conversations where all I hear is men accusing women of not liking them and they don't want to do nothing for them and we hate our men and I wasn't understanding why was these babies crying like this. See, I thought of them as babies. I don't know how they visualize themselves. When you sit around and cry about the woman, or not even cry, insult and degrade the women of your nation, what that doesn't uh, demonstrate manhood. That demonstrates a little boy crying for his mama. But let me not get on that. Let me stay on what is Islam. Islam does not support the idea that man or woman was born in sin. It teaches that everyone has within himself or herself the seed of perfect development and rests solely with himself or herself to make or mar his fortune. An unlimited capacity for progress. So if we talk about um, as mothers and women, we need to get together and talk about what that unlimited progress looks like when we are united and working for Prophet Noble Duality and working for the nation. Because it should not be segmented. It should not be in little pieces and packets over here and pieces. We need to collectively come together. And that is the purpose of the Moorish Sisters Network. It's not to bash men, it's not to talk about brothers, but it's about the healing and unification of us as women. It's not a testimony, it's a study session. It's a sharing session. It's a learning session. And it's mother to mother, sister to sister. That's what it's actually all about. It is not, I mean, you're going to have to learn history. Some people say, well, they don't like history. And I understand. But it's one of the keys that opens one of the doors that gets us to where we need to go. So we have to use that key to history. We have to use that key to religion.
We have to pick up that, let me go back to that verse. We have to clothe ourselves in that neatness, feed ourselves with that temperance, use that humility and meekness, and wear it as a crown of glory. So now, yes, we have to do that as mothers and sisters. We have a great task before us. Let us not let another generation of sisters go down and and we get lost. We don't understand why we wear a turban. Let's just be like everybody else and do what everybody else is doing. You are so much more value. You have so much more value than you are priceless as a Moorish American woman because you have the jewels that a lot of our sisters don't get to touch. You have a treasure box, a toolbox where you can uplift and save humanity. So I invite you and I plead with you to come and join us in the Moorish Sisters Network. We got work to do. We got a lot of work to do. Because, so I get a lot of flack sometimes, but I try not to allow that to determine what it is that what we need to get done. And before I sign off, I just wanted to let Grand Food Cooperative know that I have seen your messages. They need to come earlier so that I can make appropriate arrangements. Um, and yes, you can be a guest on my show. As soon as I get all that figured out, I will be having some guests on my program. You won't just be hearing my voice, but you you have we are. I just want sisters to realize Allah gave you something special. You got to tap into it. We've got to tap into it. And when we come together, it becomes magnetized. And when it becomes magnetized, we can move mountains. The mountains will move. I think, what is that? Muhammad. I can't even, I ain't gonna tear it up. So, I just, I just wanted to take this particular program to talk to the sisters because I'm always communicating with brothers, but I just wanted to take this moment to talk to the sisters and share the love that we need to strengthen and support each other because we got to move beyond the temple walls. And when we move beyond the temple walls, we need to be singing in harmony. We need to be singing the music of Prophet Mutual Ali. We need to be singing the divine and national. We need to be letting the world know there's a better way to do this thing called life. And I can that there are role models out there that all I can do is give honor to. I mean, so one of the things before I close out, I do want to share is stop sharing this. And I do just want to share some of the photographs from Sunday. So let me see if it's in my share box. I have to go here. Oh, it's there. All right. So let's just share some of our photos from Sunday. See if I can see it. That is Mother Betty and Sister Bonezia, or Resurrected Bonezia, who was the one who organized the Moorish Mother's Dinner. She's, oh, wait a minute, you move kind of fast here. um, giving some love. Um, Sister Betty had the final word, and that's Christina Price and uh, Noble, gosh, I can't think her name. Noble Jawali's wife. She's sharing the picture. And I was behind the altar. This is our national grand sheikess and state grand sheikess, Tiffany Jones Bay. So I'm at the back of the altar, so I'm not getting my usual pictures. This is Assistant Grand Sheikess Katrina Johnson Bay. This is her daughter giving her honor as a mother. Of course, this is Sister Bowen's again. This is, and here I go. This is Sister Katrina Johnson Bay. This is the mother of Sister Thompson Bay. And of course, please forgive me if I don't remember names. Oh, there she is. That's her daughter right there. That's a good picture. Hmm. I like that. I gotta send that picture to her. These are the sisters I did get to go. That's Sister Timmons she's Timmons That's Grand Resurrector. Jonah she is Valance Bay. This is a brother giving honor to his mother. This is Sister Janicia Dixon Bay. And mother and daughter came to the altar and shared the love. She talked about how her mother was a role model and how she said she wasn't going to be like a mother, but she's just like a mother with the children. Here's a hug between the mother and the daughter. This she is Alice Bay. And I think I did get a couple of brothers. Let's see. Yeah, our brothers. This I gotta learn how. This first time I used this. So brothers standing, giving honor. I don't remember which sister it was, but brother giving honor. I'm trying to remember names. And this is, of course, the little mo giving. And as you see the people. That's myself. Uh, so you get to see. This is Sheik Joanna Eagle. And he reminded the brothers the duty of a husband and how to treat his wife. This is brother. Mm, I'm messing up with names right now. I don't know, but this is another brother. I'm getting ready. Uh, she Carter Bay gave honor to his mother. That's she Kush Carter Bay, both the sons of Honorary Supreme Grand Sheikh Yvonne Greenwell. That was Valance Bay. Uh, this is Sheikh Valance Bay, or Assistant Grand Sheikh Valance Bay. This is Sheikh Williams Hill. Katrina Johnson Bay. She gets that's her daughter. I gotta hit my keypad in the right place for my picture to change. There we go. So that's just another brother giving honor. Um, and you know, it was a beautiful occasion. But of course, guess what? I had to stop doing this because it's time for me. to close up, let me show you. This is a Moorish Mother's Day card of as many sisters as I could find to put on there. Um, Happy Moorish Mother's Day. And so, um, oh, and I saw Robin Redbreast. Mhm. So I took his picture too. So he only had nothing to do with Moorish Mother's Day though. So I figured I would just share that with you. And it's time for me to get ready to sign off. Okay. Um, and don't ask me how I did this, but I think I invited myself to my own studio. You know, I be doing a little much. Okay, I got it. I got it. I hope I removed the right person. Yes, I did. Okay, good. It's back to just me. So, of course, we've come to the end of another program, and I hope and pray that I touch someone's heart, and we'll see a few more sisters coming together, because I would love to see what that picture you see with all those. I would love us to flood Washington D.C. with just Moorish mothers, just to let that light. Y'all don't understand how powerful that light is. That Moorish mother's light. You don't understand. But of course, we've come down to the end of our program, and I like to remind you to embrace the prophet, embrace Allah, embrace divine and national, embrace one another, and please embrace the mission. And we thank you and appreciate you. Actually, I have a few extra minutes here. Please join me for Divine and National Instruction Sunday, 10:15 to 11:45. They will resume this Sunday. Um, Please join us for that. Again, join us next week for the Moorish Light Continues, where the revolution is a podcast, as well as you can join us at 1055 North Milton Avenue or 2900 West Pressman Street for Holy Holy Night, which is from 8 to 10, as well as Sunday School from 12 to 2. So, please, 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 just remember, I think I'm going to close on this note. And I think it's the most appropriate note I can close on. And I got myself sitting in the dark. I thought I did something else. But anyway, it's not like we got all that time. So I did want to close on this note. Hear now, ye cherubim, ye serpent, ye angels, and ye men. Hear now, O protoplas, earth, plant, and beast. Hear now, O creeping things of earth, ye fish that swim, ye birds that fly. Hear now, ye winds that blow, ye thunders, and ye lightnings of the sky. Hear now, ye spirits of fire, of water, earth, and air. Hear now, O everything that is, or was, or evermore to be. For wisdom speaks from the highest plane of spirit life. And once again, I thank you for allowing us to bring to you the Moorish Light Continues, where the revolution is a podcast, in love and understanding. Peace and love.